Of course.
He's on a 5-minute delay. It'll be fine. Questions for Coach Dunlap?
Coach, how do you attack Syracuse's 2-3 zone now that Fat Mel's returned? Do you change the way you were going to attack them if he wasn't going to?
No, not at all. I mean, one is they have some other bigs in there. It's a good question, but we have 4 or 5 ways we want to attack it. We've been reinforcing those principles all season long, and we haven't deviated much from that. And I think that the more reps we get with the same constants, the better off. For example, you would tell our team, hey, run before the zone sets up. So our transition game is an important element, one of the 5 that we teach. So we're kind of in a situation where if we add too much or change, it's not good for our players. It slows them down. And so we've been trying to get a consistency on the 5 bullet points.
Have you talked to your players at all about Syracuse, all the fans coming? There was always a lot of Syracuse fans there. Have you talked to them about that?
No, but this day and age, from tweeting to Facebook to the social media and all forms, our guys are really well aware about Syracuse and the fans and all of that. But what's going to be great is the Garden's going to be full. And the fact that it has a Syracuse flavor to it too just adds to the rivalry, and also is any of those challenges that our guys can face that they feel a little bit new about is ultimately going to be good for us. Example given, we go to Kentucky and they had 24,000 people in the stands, and so the Garden will be rocking like that, so it'll be great for our players.
Earlier in the season, I forget who said it, but somebody mentioned that the players had watched videos from last year. Have you done anything like that since then? Just like watching the Pitt game, the Duke game?
Yes, we've covered all that film, and we like to surprise them with some stuff on game day. And that's all part of, say, even a year ago, we had that in with some other things that they like, that are visually appealing. But they've seen a lot of film.
Going back to feeding the rivalry between you and Syracuse, has there been any talk amongst the players or between you and the players concerning Syracuse's claims of being New York's college team?
Well, a couple of guys mentioned it to me, and the same thing was happened last year. And anything to spice it up, it's lively banner. These guys know each other, and it's healthy. I think that Syracuse has handled himself in a classy way when we've competed. They've been, nothing but class, and that's indicative, in my opinion, of their program and how they run their show. It's a classy show.
Phil Green has put together a nice few games, starting with the loss at USF.
Yeah.
How much has his reemergence helped this team since then?
Tremendous. We don't win the games we've won if Phil doesn't take a step forward. We need that third scorer, 1, and 2 is his bravado. And just his body language has improved so much that, I just think that he plays with a certainty. And then the last phase, at least for this year, is going to be him telling other players what to do, and that's happening in the huddles. And that is a definite sign that, he's taking claim to the team as the point guard, and we love that.
What do you think of the reemergence of God's gift with the ball? He seems to get going more than he has in past games.
Yeah, I think 3 things have happened with Gift. One is that by not starting, he gets to see what our opponent is doing, and he's so smart that I think he's taking advantage of that. 2 is that we've reduced his minutes a little bit, and I think it's helped his legs. And then 3 is that he's the ultimate teammate. Not one complaint. He just comes in there, and I think our players are really happy for him that he has reemerged.
Do you see him as being a guy who comes off the bench for the foreseeable future?
Oh, yes, and we're in a situation where we like during the week for guys to practice well, so we call it the hot seat. And that 5th seat, if somebody gets entitlement issues, it's nice to be able just to move another guy in there on the lineup. So we leave ourselves an open mind to that, and I think that our players kind of like that too.
How's Mo doing health-wise?
He's good, only because Ronnie Linfont has been working around the clock to get him right, and so I think good sums it up. I just got done in there, and good was a nice Belichick answer.
Is he moving the way that he has, or is there some difference that we're seeing?
He's moving nicely, yeah, but we didn't rev the engine on any of them today. We had what we call surgical practice, and we tried to prepare for Syracuse and also clean up some of the things from the ball game. And he looked good.
Does he sound like he feels right when he talks to you? Does he tell you he feels right?
He sounds great. No, he's good. You know what? On that question is that when he comes in and talks in practice, and he talked about Syracuse today, he was one of the ones that was well aware that you know, of the social media. And when he's come forward in the last month, and so he's been in our gym using his voice in the huddles, giving other guys instructions. And when he's like that and his voice was lively today, I know he's feeling pretty good. I think he was relieved that it wasn't worse than what it was, Roger.
As far as dealing with Syracuse's size, it seemed like it was a problem when you were dealing with size in Kentucky, you know, and maybe Connecticut. But Duke's a pretty tall team, and you guys did some effective things there. I mean, what is Syracuse, their size like Duke's, or is it more like, you know, a Kentucky or a Connecticut?
Well, just a couple things on their size. You got to move it 94 feet, so we like to run. Everybody knows that. And then second is that we like to use the pass. And if we're quick with the pass, that'll move that zone and get those pieces moving around a bit. But if they're stationary, they're second in the country for a reason, and arguably they're the best team in the country. So it's because of that size, but also their experience. Their guards, I love their guards in terms of just how calm they are, how sturdy they are. And now, you know, Boeheim has his fingerprint on them. You know, they have a real chance to win the whole thing.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
You guys have a good one.